Okay, so we are finally here. The Star Wars prequel saga slash trilogy slash whatever you want to call it is coming to an end, or has come to an end. Well, it came to an end in 2005, but my talking about it in the Road to Rogue One has come to an end with Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This one is considered the good one of the prequels. So let's talk about whether I think that's true or whether I think it's another whatever the hell Phantom Menace was. I mean, yeah. So let's get straight into it. I'll go right off the bat. I really enjoyed Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. I rewatched it a couple of days ago. I haven't seen it for years. Last time I saw it, I was still so attached to the original trilogy, and it was like, yeah, I can't enjoy this. Really enjoyed it. Now, yes, it has a lot of problems still, but it's a really enjoyable look into how a Sith Lord becomes a Sith Lord. And this is the one where we get to see Darth Vader finally transform. Anakin Skywalker finally becomes one of the greatest sci-fi villains of all time. Yeah, that's what kind of feels off about this movie. But I will get onto that. It starts off with a really cool action sequence over Coruscant, which it goes on for a long time. I mean, there's no doubt it's enjoyable. It's really cool. You've got like, it's kind of weird because the characters feel a little off in this scene because like Obi-Wan's droid R4 gets his head ripped off and like all its insides have been pulled out and he's just like, oh dear, and it's like Obi-Wan would care more than that, I'm sure. But anyway, it really does establish the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan because in the others they don't really have one. Like in the first one, obviously Anakin's a kid, and you can understand that why would he have a relationship with Obi-Wan in that. But in the second one, it's like for most of the movie they're split up anyway, so they don't really feel like they're friends as such. But in this one, they really do feel like they're friends as well as, you know, Master and Padawan. So I will give it that. It feels like a good sort of friendship story between them. Because in the original trilogy, when you hear Obi-Wan talking about Anakin, he's saying how he was such a good friend and everything, and it's like, we haven't established that yet, but they do here. And yeah, this action sequence takes forever, but I really like the scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan fight Count Dooku. I mean, to me, Count Dooku is a very pointless villain. I don't understand why he's in it. But for this, you know, it was fine. You had to have Anakin kill someone because you could argue that's his start of the path to the dark side. Because the way he's like, it's not the Jedi way. When Palpatine's like, do it, and he like slices his throat. I guess that you could argue that was his path to the dark side, but that could have easily have been Darth Maul. Because imagine if they hadn't killed off Darth Maul, it would be more of a reason for Anakin to kill him. Sorry, it would be more of a reason for Anakin to kill him because Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon Jinn, who was Obi-Wan's trainer. And he was very good to Anakin in the Phantom Menace. So it'd be like, I want revenge for you killing Qui-Gon. So that would make more sense if it was Darth Maul instead of Count Dooku, because what has Count Dooku done apart from slice off his arm? But easily Darth Maul could have done that. So anyway, I won't keep talking about that, but I do like that scene because you know, it really shows that Anakin's sort of, his ways have changed since Attack of the Clones. So that was pretty cool. My biggest complaint, or one of my biggest complaints, is what comes next, and it's the whole Anakin I'm pregnant thing. And it's like, okay, fair enough, you have to have Luke and Leia, you know, fair enough, give us their origins, but it's just the way they go about it with the dialogue. I mean, worst line of dialogue in this film is just when Anakin and Padme are talking about how they love each other, and it's something like, it's because I'm in love with you, and Anakin's like, no, it's because I'm so in love with you, and Padme's like, so love has blinded you, and it's like, have we not got past this yet? Are they still in that puppy dog relationship stage? Come on, she's pregnant with his child, they're married, have they not got past this whole thing yet? But luckily it doesn't last for the entire movie, because Padme honestly doesn't have that much to do in this film. So luckily the whole cheesy dialogue, it carries on, but not with those two. At least there's that. There's not so much of a romantic thing going on apart from that one awful scene. But you know, you've got your characters like General Grievous, and each film has like a different antagonist, which is kind of weird. I love General Grievous. He is a brilliant character. But again, you know, he's only really established in the TV show, which I haven't watched all of, but I've watched some of, and it's like, yeah, he's a pretty cool character. I know his backstory and everything. But it's like, Is he really needed? No. But do you enjoy seeing him in this movie? Yeah, sure. I mean, the only reason really he's in it is because Obi-Wan has to go off and fight him because he can't really be there when Anakin turns to the dark side, because otherwise it's just like Anakin's gonna be on Obi-Wan's side, and it's like, okay, we have to send him somewhere, but why not just send him away with Yoda? Yoda goes away, to Kashyyyk, which there's no real reason for him to go to Kashyyyk. It's cool, but it's only really for nostalgia so we can see the Wookiees and Chewbacca, who doesn't really need to be in this film. But, it would have been fine if they'd sent Obi-Wan to Kashyyyk instead of to fight Grievous. I mean, it would be maybe Grievous went to Kashyyyk to do his shit. I mean, that would have been so much better, because there's a reason for Yoda and Obi-Wan to go there, and there's a reason for Grievous to be in this movie, and I guess there's a reason for Kashyyyk to be in this movie at that point. But, fair enough. The fight scene between Grievous and Obi-Wan was cool. I mean, my favourite part is when they're, like, on the like, the ledge thing, whatever you want to call it, and Obi-Wan's climbing up, and Grievous has the upper hand. He has the high ground. And, Obi-Wan, like, shoots him in his chest, and it just, like, the fire goes, like, through his helmet, and it's just, like, that was really cool. I actually loved that. It made me, like, I was on the edge of my seat, man. But yeah, stuff like that's great. There's a lot of fighting in this movie, a lot of lightsaber battles. But I'll get straight into the whole path to the dark side thing. It's done kind of weirdly. I mean, at first, Palpatine and Anakin are like talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the Sith Lord, Darth Plagueis the Wise, and all that." But Anakin's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll tell Mace Windu," and he does. And then Mace Windu comes and he fights Palpatine, and Palpatine wipes out the Jedi that are with him. And then it's like Mace Windu versus Palpatine, and it's like, why would Anakin just turn on him? Sorry, I'm a bit ill when I'm making this. But anyway. But yeah. Oh, I'm feeling like General Grievous right now. But yeah, it's like, why would Anakin just turn on this guy? And there's not an entirely big reason for it. I mean, I guess he didn't want him to kill Palpatine because he's grown close to Palpatine, but he hasn't really done much to grow close to Palpatine at this point, so it's like, okay, fine. And it's like the whole thing when Mace Windu like goes to like slice him, and Palpatine's using this Force light, and it was cool seeing the Force light, and that was like, it was like, oh, we haven't seen that before in the prequels, duh! And it's like, yeah, I like that. But when it's all burning his face and stuff, it's like, that didn't need to happen really. There's either Force corruption or he's just a really old man. So it's like, ugh. But yeah, Anakin sort of turns to the dark side so quickly. Palpatine's like, yo, we can save Padme. And Anakin's like, well, how? You're a Sith. We're not going to actually be able to save her, are we? And Palpatine's like, I don't know. You tell me. So Anakin turns to the dark side. Order 66. Holy crap, that scene was intense and awesome. You just got Anakin wiping out all these Jedi. And, you've got... Kit Fisto and Ki-Adi-Mundi, they're all being slaughtered down by, like, the clone troopers. The clone troopers have all turned, and, you see Yoda and Chewbacca's side, and it's just like, holy crap, this is awesome. The only survivors you've got are Obi-Wan and Yoda, and it's like, fuck. Things are getting pretty intense. And, I love to see that. The whole thing with the younglings, it was fine that they get killed off, I guess, because Anakin had to turn really, really bad. But it's like, why only kill them? There's so much to kill. Come on, leave the younglings alone, dude. Darth Vader's not that much of a dick. Clearly he is. But anyway, yeah, the whole name between Darth Vader thing, it's kind of stupid. Like, Palpatine's just like, from now on, you'd be known as Darth Vader. And it's just like, Darth Vader, cool, that's a cool name. I guess the ultimate Sith Lord is just known as Darth Vader because. But yeah, and then you've got Mustafar and the final showdown between Anakin and Obi-Wan. Padme turns back up and some more shitty, cheesy dialogue. She's like, "You're breaking my heart, Anakin." And he's just like, "Ugh, he's with you. You're against me. You sent him to kill me." And it's like, this dude knows what's going on, man. Anakin's full dark side, which is kind of, it annoys me because the whole thing is like, save Padme. He can save Padme. He's the one that killed her. It's like, even if he's turned to the dark side, he's not just going to kill the person with. I guess if they went the route where it was like ultimately he doesn't care because he's so evil, but he does care because at the end Vader screams no because of Padme, and it's like, so he does care. Like, either way, he either does or he doesn't. He's a Sith Lord. If he was a Sith Lord, would he care? Yes is the answer, but it's just stupid because he's the one that force chokes her. So I'm not really a big fan of that whole thing, but I get it. But what I'm saying is it would have made sense for Yoda to have taken her to the medical wing whilst Anakin and Obi-Wan were fighting, because I found the fight between Palpatine and Yoda kind of like pointless. But then I realised, Tom brought this up, that maybe it was because they wanted to wipe out both Palpatine and Anakin at the same time, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. And both fights were cool. Anakin and Obi-Wan are just like swinging at each other. Obi-Wan pulls out his lightsaber first, and he's just like, Anakin, I'll do what must be done. And then Anakin's like, you will try. I mean, while I say Hayden Christensen's, he's not a good actor. All right, in that scene, he delivered his lines non-awfully, actually, for once. But yeah, I mean, some of the acting in this is bad. What I don't understand is why they made Palpatine into an actual cartoon character. Like, you've got the fight between, even at the beginning when Obi-Wan's like slicing down Dooku, and it just cuts him and he's like, Nyeh, and he does nothing else. It's like, what? And the bit when he's like slicing down the Jedi and he's like, and his face is like ridiculously stupid. It's like, come on, why does he have to be like this? I know he was like a hammy, over eccentric character in the original trilogy. He could have been that without being a cartoon. But anyway, I just wanted to address that. But yeah, the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan is spectacular. You know, things are falling down, they're climbing over, they're almost being burned in the lava, and they're fighting, and you really feel the emotion in all the characters. And then the last scene happens. I have the high ground, Anakin. And he's like, well, fuck you, and tries to flip over and gets his leg sliced, which also annoys me because in the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul didn't slice off Obi-Wan's legs. I mean, I know that there was no reason for him to, because, well, there was a reason for him to. There was no, they couldn't because he had to train Anakin, but surely they could have done something better than have him fall down and jump up. He could have just, like, caught him off guard and sliced him. But anyway, fair enough. But yeah, so you've got Anakin burning and he's like, I hate you, which is the worst line they could have come up with. It could have been something like, he didn't have to say anything. It's just the way he screams, I hate you. And it's like, don't. That scene really disturbs me when you see him like burning and crumbling away. Kind of disturbs me, actually. But yeah, so Obi-Wan walks away and Padme gives birth and dies. Luke and Leia are born. But it's just the lead up to that was really good, and then the whole Darth Vader thing at the end, I didn't like it because of the dialogue. He breaks out of his chair and he's like, where's Padme? And then Palpatine's like, she's gone, and he's like, no, you killed her in your anger. And then you see the Death Star being built, and obviously it took 20 years when it looked already half done, so it's like, okay, fine. But yeah, so the last scene wasn't amazing to me. I like how the very last shot was like the suns in Tatooine and the heart that Luke grows up in. And it's like, this is what's coming, guys. But I kind of wish the last shot, like that had happened before, and the very last shot was like Palpatine finding Vader. He turns into Vader, and you just see him rise up, and he's like, Lord Vader, rise. And you just see the mask, and you hear the... That would have been really cool. And I'm thinking, is the lightsaber that Palpatine used against Yoda the lightsaber that Vader ultimately has? Because you never see Palpatine with a lightsaber again in the original trilogy. And during the fight between Windu and Palpatine, Windu like knocks the lightsaber out the window, so it's gone. I mean, you could argue that Palpatine could get it back with the Force, but it looks like a different lightsaber altogether, and it has like black lines on the hilt, which Vader's had. So I'm wondering, is that actually Vader's lightsaber that Palpatine uses and gives to him? I mean, no proof to say that it is or isn't. I'm just wondering. I'm curious about that. I think it probably is. But overall, I'm saying I like this movie a lot, actually. There's some really cool stuff in it. Some cool action scenes. Some of it, yeah, it's stupid and cheesy and corny. And some of it didn't need to happen. But I like the movie for what it is. And I'll say that it's definitely the best of the prequels. I mean, out of all the originals, doesn't hold a candle. But it is a very good movie, and I do highly recommend, if you're a Star Wars fan, you do watch this before you watch the others, because it does lead into the Vader story, whilst not amazingly in every sense of the way, There is things that I would change personally to make it better, especially the dialogue at the end. I don't think there needed to be dialogue. I think it could have been the breathing. But I guess the nostalgia from James L. Jones' voice acting was great. But yeah, I mean, it's a fine movie. I enjoyed it. Not the best, not the worst. And I'll say, yeah, definitely check this out if you haven't already. You probably have. Everyone's seen this by now. But, you know, let me know what you think of Revenge of the Sith. Is it your favourite prequel? If not, what is? Comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.